Hey guys, and welcome back to another Sheffield Steelers guy video. It is Wednesday. We are halfway there to the big weekend that is going to be taking place in the Elite League this week. As you know, this week I've been making some videos on the preview, which we did on Monday. Yesterday we did the Steelers running, and today we are doing the Nottingham Panthers running. Yes, that does mean tomorrow we will be doing the Belfast Giants running for the league title, and then on Friday we'll be covering Game Day Eve. If you guys do go on to enjoy this video, give it a like and of course subscribe. And without further ado, let's begin this video. So let's just clear the air by saying, first of all, nobody actually expected the Nottingham Panthers to be in a title race. When I looked at their roster in the off-season, I thought they're coming fourth, they're going to come fifth or fourth, they're going to come mid-table because Danny Stewart is a coach who puts teams mostly mid-table. But no, the Panthers are third in the league standings, 3 points behind the Sheffield Steelers and 4 points behind the Belfast Giants. So, it is pretty clear to go through the running of the Panthers. It's obvious, isn't it? The Panthers play the Belfast Giants twice this weekend. Those two games will decide whether if the Belfast Giants win the league, or in my personal opinion, or the Sheffield Steelers win the league. As you know, last weekend the Nottingham Panthers lost to the Guildford Flames 4-1. Now, if they hadn't had lost to the Guildford Flames 4-1, it would have put a lot more pressure on this weekend ahead. But because they lost to the Guildford Flames 4-1, it is much harder for the Nottingham Panthers to pull off the league title. So, what can Nottingham do? Well, a lot of fans have theorised that the Nottingham Panthers are going to put in Grande on one of the Belfast games and then completely change their lines up for the next game just to make sure that the Steelers don't win the league. Now, yes, it sounds cool, but the Panthers are in a title race and they will want to still challenge to win it on the last weekend. So the theorise of the Panthers changing up their lines and resting Grande, I don't think is going to happen. I think the Panthers are going to play in both games and they're going to play their best team for both games and try and do a dramatic end to the season. Now, the Belfast Giants haven't had the best of luck in Nottingham this season. I don't even think they've won there once, which is pretty positive if you are a fan of the Sheffield Steelers or the Nottingham Panthers, because we obviously want the Nottingham Panthers to beat the Belfast Giants and for the Sheffield Steelers to go all out on the final weekend. So the loss to Guildford has put the Panthers in a hole. The Panthers only have one scenario where they could win the league. They would need to beat Belfast twice, so not just on the first night, but on the second night, and they would need the Sheffield Steelers to lose both of their games this weekend in regulation in order to win the league. Now, out of all the run-ins and all the situations that we can have within the league title this weekend, this one is the least likely and the least obvious. It's not going to happen, is it? If the Nottingham Panthers had beaten Guildford, there would have been a higher chance of the Panthers winning the league this weekend. In my personal opinion, I can see the Panthers and the Giants splitting the weekend, and I can see the Steelers taking 4 points on the weekend, with the reality being the Steelers are obviously, and even if you're a Belfast fan, with the way you played against Manchester on Sunday, it's pretty obvious to say that the Steelers are probably going to end up taking the league title this weekend. Now, as days go on by, more and more Steelers fans are going to Coventry for some reason. They obviously know that something's going to happen that night, and it's nearly sold out at the arena. So that's the only situation that the Panthers can win the league on. And the reason why I've said they're going to split the weekend is because Panthers go to Belfast away on the Saturday. Now, I can see Belfast winning that game by a mile. I can see Belfast winning that game by at least 1 goal I would be so shocked if the Panthers come out of Belfast with 2 points, because if the Steelers were to win in Cardiff and Belfast were to lose to Nottingham, that would drastically change the mood going into Sunday. And then I can see the Belfast Giants winning a game and the Nottingham Panthers winning a game. And the reason why is because Belfast hosts Nottingham on Saturday, but then Nottingham hosts Belfast on Sunday. That is why I can see the team splitting up the weekend. There's a lot of travel involved. Obviously, the Steelers have got to go from Sheffield to Coventry, which is not very far. So even if the Steelers were to lose on Saturday, we would have to rely on the Nottingham Panthers winning on Sunday, which would mean the Steelers, if the Steelers lose on Saturday, we would require the Panthers to win on Saturday. Yeah. And then we would need to win on Sunday, and the Panthers would need to win on Sunday. So there's not really much I can say about the Panthers running, because they're the least likely team to come out on top in this weekend's affairs for the league title. If the Panthers had beaten Guildford, it would have been Nottingham 74, Steelers 75, Belfast 76. Which means if the Steelers had lost and the Panthers had won, they would have been tied on points with the Belfast Giants going into Sunday. That is why Nottingham should have won against the Guildford Flames in Guildford. Even when I woke up on that game against the Guildford Flames, I thought in my head, Nottingham are going to lose today. Nottingham are going to lose. Now, it gets more nerve-wracking as the days go on, as we get closer to finding out who's going to be the league champions and finding out whether if the Steelers are going to go back-to-back or the Belfast Giants are going to take the trophy back to Belfast. It's very nerve-wracking, and if we had a choice where the Elite League said, would you rather the teams play their games tomorrow and just get it done with, I would just do that. As I said on Monday's video, if I could time travel and just look at who ends up winning the league title, imagine if I time travel, look who wins it, and then sees the Steelers as champions. The programme cover for the next Steelers game, if we win the league, that playoff game, the programme cover would be insane. Anyway guys, that is it for today's video. If you guys have enjoyed this video, give it a like and of course subscribe. Let me know who you think is going to win the league. Do you think the Panthers are going to win the league? Do you think Sheffield are going to win the league? Do you think Belfast are going to win the league? And I will see you tomorrow for the final running video, the Belfast Giants. That is it from Steelers Guy.